Moon landing.
What does everyone now, just in a very quick sentence, take it in turns, we'll go round in a circle on whoever's first. We'll just pretend we're sat in a circle.
Okay.
So someone pick first. Do they think it's real or fake or both?
Moon landing is real.
There is a reason I've said both.
Fake.
I think they're real.
Nice.
I think they're both. I think both. I think it's real and fake.
That is
Yeah,
an interesting concept because they're polar
this'll be-
opposites.
Well, now you see the
No.
information I have here from a trusted source, which
Hammer
is the
Hub,
Hammer Hub.
Wikipedia.
Hammer Hub.
I
Hammer
literally
Hub.
just fist bumped the Hammer Hub. It's looking at me like, yeah, you know. It's not real. Shut up. Stop talking. Stop looking at it. Right. So, my take on this, because this is my turn,
Yep.
is that, does everyone know who Stanley Kubrick is?
Mhm.
No. Someone wants to explain to me.
You've seen the movie The Shining? The Here's Johnny and all that crap.
No, I haven't seen The Shining.
What?
Clockwork
Disappointed.
Orange.
No.
Love that film.
Well, anyway, Stanley
What else
Stanley
has
Kubrick.
done? Eyes Wide Shut.
No.
Oh my God,
No, but-
Mike,
Oh. What have you lived
Anyway.
in a bubble?
get out.
No.
I know I said you could interrupt. I didn't mean before I'd even started.
Right,
Sorry.
so- well, I don't know who he is, but I can't believe say it.
Right.
Writer.
So I'll give you the introduction of this from what I've wrote in my notes. So I've got Stanley Kubrick faked the moon landing. This is my own opinion now. So if anyone's listening, don't sue me. It's an opinion. No animals were hurt in the making of this podcast. So from the moment Armstrong walked on the moon, it's been said the moon landings are fake. It's also claimed that the landings are real, but the footage was fake. So who faked it? Best suspect is director Stanley Kubrick, and he may have left some clues to expose this. So that's why I'm saying it's both real and fake. In my opinion, the Americans lied to win the race during the Cold War, and I think the footage was done in order to prove they'd already got the moon, to give them more time to get to the moon. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it's cool.
So, you've got
No,
Stanley
fuck it, we're
Kubrick
done.
as a
That's quite a
technical...
cool theory. We're done with it.
Well, yeah, but now I can give you the reasons behind it. And what you can go and look this stuff up in the film if you want, or it's up to you guys. And for anyone watching, this information may become,
Oh, well, I
good.
might
You
be able
might
to
get
help
your own
out
theory on it.
Rare on this point.
Why?
Because I know some of the things that are in the film footage that people say certain stuff.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Someone might have proved it's not
So-
what you think.
Yeah, I weren't looking for it to be debunked, so if you were, then you might know something I don't, but... So, Stanley Kubrick was a technical wizard known for his groundbreaking movie 2001: A Space Odyssey. It was released in 1968, a year before the landing. It's, even though it was released a year before, its depiction of weightless travel is the most correct of any film in history. Apparently, it's the most spot-on take on weightless movement.
Oh, there you go.
The spacesuits and... Okay.
I watched an episode of Mythbusters, and
Yeah.
whether you use bungees or anything like that, you can get close, but you don't get bang on it until you go into a zero gravity flight.
I did
There you
say
go.
it's the most correct in film history.
Yeah, but it's not because Mythbusters.
They haven't made a film.
They did.
Oh, Mythbusters?
Mm-hmm. They
Mythbusters
filmed
the
it all.
movie?
No,
Oh, not, yeah,
oh God.
they
Yeah,
filmed
but
it
they
all
used
themselves.
movie cameras. They
Yeah.
They used movie effects. They used movie stuff
Let's,
to do that.
I get that, but let's go back to the in film history. No one's
Okay.
ever going to remember Mythbusters, the documentary of the movie, are they?
No.
But I get what you're just saying. They've come close and they've gone against it. But anyway, the spacesuits and the ships are designed from NASA blueprints, and the surface of the planets were made from NASA's images of said planets. I think it might have just been the moon and something else. Now, like I said, Kubrick may have been hired by the US to stage the landings to win the race in the Cold War. So what does everyone think about that?
It's very plausible.
I believe there was a film made. I can't remember what the film was called, but it had that same thing in it. So they got the astronauts, they launched them, and then they stopped the feed, brought them back down, brought them into a massive warehouse and made the moon and like stages and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it could be true. Like it could be. But
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at it that well, that's what I mean. If you look at it as they
that's a
needed
lot
to
of
win
money
the race to win the Cold
two
War.
rockets. Because there was people
But how
that
much
witnessed
would
the
it have
rockets
cost?
take off.
So does
How
no
much
one
would it
believe
cost
that
if they'd
Russia
have lost the
got
Cold
there
War?
I don't think Russia got there first.
first?
I
Really
think
don't.
Russia did get there first, but they already thought the Americans had done it.
Well, no, because they would have seen the flag, wouldn't they?
No, you'd have to have landed in the same area, and
They landed
It's all
pretty
very
much in the same
pinpoint.
spot. Weren't that far?
did they?
Yeah. It was all because it's all
Well,
done
it's
on
quite
time,
strongly
isn't it?
claimed in Russia that they beat them.
Yeah.
But
But don't forget, you've already got.
you might want to
now,
beat this.
technically-
Russians are weird.
That's all right.
You've
They
already
are,
got the
they're
footage,
strange
though, that the
people.
world has seen of the Americans on the moon. So to convince the whole nation that that is a lie, the Russians wouldn't have stood a chance. I think I'm starting to dance off in Destiny. But anyway, right. So, it's been said that Stanley Kubrick has hid clues in his masterpiece, The Shining. Now, apparently, The Shining contains a speech. Like, has anyone seen it where he rants about his feelings and stuff like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, apparently that speech is Kubrick's apology to the world. This is according to the theory.
Okay.
And in the film, it starts off, the most obvious reference is when a young boy called Danny is in a hotel. He is wearing an Apollo 11 sweater, which has got a rocket on it. And as he stands up, it looks like the rocket is taking off, and the carpet has a geometric pattern very similar to the launch pad of the Apollo 11 mission. Now, obviously, you've got to be looking at that a certain way to see something like that.
So could it not be
Also-
that he's just a massive fan of Andy?
It could be, yeah, plausible. But there is more in there. I mean, that's just one
Oh,
of
go
them.
on. Yeah, I'm just going off that one. So.
Yeah, no, you've got in the movie, you'll see there's a scene with loads of food supplies behind the people, and the food supplies include Tang, which is a fruit
Right,
powder
okay.
drink used by NASA in the space flights. The letter A and the number 11 are hidden throughout the movie in shapes on the set. And then we go back to Jack's rant about how he feels how no one's taken into account his feelings for the hoax he's perpetrating on the nation, and the way he's got to live, and what would happen if his employers found out he'd told anyone. So, I mean, I don't know
You're right,
how
Craig, mate.
everyone feels about it, but to me, I think the strongest theory on the moon landings is something like this.
But for me, I think.
Yeah.
I reckon it's true.
Yeah, I don't think the American government had the money to do that.
I think
Not to launch a rocket, bring them down, get another rocket exactly the same, like with the lunar module, send it back up, and then land it again. I just don't think.
I don't know.
How does
anything.
anyone know that the people in the studio filming are not two just different people? How do they not know that another space mission was carried out, like an observation mission, and then they
What,
get
with
brought
Apollo
down,
11
so they're
on it?
killing. Yeah, anything could happen. No one can see up
Because there
there.
was, like, where it took. Did it take off at Cape Canaveral? I can't remember where it took off from.
Yeah, I think it did.
Was the film ever
Like,
stopped from being released?
Thousands and thousands and thousands watched
As
that
what, sorry?
take off.
The film that this is all in that I haven't seen.
What, The Shining?
Yeah, was it ever attempted to have it stopped being released or anything?
The government
No.
tried to stop Stanley Kubrick directing
But they didn't stop the film.
because no,
Yeah, but
They
once
get
again,
access to
different
the film
times,
before anybody else.
people were terrified of things more easily, I should say.
yeah, I mean they're all. You've got to be looking at like I would never have spotted these things if I hadn't have stumbled across all
Doing
this
good,
stuff.
Craig, mate, you?
But what was I going to say? I don't know if anyone's seen it. There is a photo that has got a picture of Stanley Kubrick in Polaroid form on the floor in front of the astronauts on the moon with dust
there?
over it. It's, yeah, and apparently it's been analysed and it's not fake. It's meant to be a real photo. It matches the time and the equipment. So, but then that could have been taken anywhere if someone had the same stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
think the moon landers are fake.
It's actually a really
I
hard
think-
thing to argue against as well.
yeah. I mean, do you guys
Where
are
do you
familiar
argue?
with Stanley Kubrick?
It's not an argument about the event being real, it's just an argument about a video.
Well, there is three questions I've got for you. I mean, the first, there's three questions in a statement. There's a movie titled Room 237, which should have originally been called 217, but the hotel didn't want their guests not wanting that room and all that bollocks. So Room 237 is an in-depth look at all the theory of the Stanley Kubrick fate. So if you ever want to watch it, it's all in there. But now, the first question. Do you think Stanley Kubrick had too much integrity or too much government distrust to even think about doing it?
Paid him
Or
enough
do you
money.
think it was his golden egg?
I'll just
Like, I
They
think
paid him
that was
enough
his
money, he'd
ticket.
do it.
I don't think they'd let him do that and then let him release a film that hints at him doing it.
Yeah, well, the theories behind the film are relatively new. It's not like an old conspiracy. This is quite a new.
No, no, but the government
mean-
sees all films before they're released.
Yeah, but then you've got to be looking for it. I mean, there's no one I know that has watched The Shining and never said to me, "Did you see that rocket ship on his shirt?" Like, I think the government. I don't think they're that clever.
Well, this is sounding
Sorry, I
really
just
clever.
need to...
This whole idea.
But it points more at Stanley Kubrick being a genius.
Well, no, because it was the government's idea.
Yeah, but only one man could pull it off.
Yeah.
Fucking, this ain't the Batman.
No,
only
it was.
one
It
man.
was
He
said
might
that
well have been.
It was said that he offered his services to be able to have freedom in the film market or something like that. He wanted to be able to release stuff that wouldn't normally get released and things. I don't know if he took advantage of it somewhere. Like, I've not looked right into it. I've always
Yeah.
believed that they were fake. Did go
it's
to
getting
them,
there, mate.
but they're still fake. But do you
Yeah.
think these are... Do you guys think these clues are actual clues, or do you think it's just coincidence?
I think he could be just a massive sci-fi fan, and he's putting homage into things, and because there's
Could
stuff
be.
like that in Disney, isn't there? There's like certain things in Disney that are always in there.
Yeah, that's a good way.
You
of
got the
looking at
Wilhelm, you got the Wilhelm scream, haven't you, in nearly every bloody film.
it. I don't know.
What, you mean
You know,
Star Wars?
You know what a Wilhelm scream is, yeah?
No, I know they've got the room, a certain room number, which was the art room that
Yeah.
Geezer drew in.
So, in Disney, yeah, they have that in
Yeah.
every Disney film, even the older
Yeah.
ones. Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know
37 or
about Soul
47
Scream.
or something. The
Wow.
Wilhelm scream,
The
it's
Wilhelm
called.
Has
have
in
to look that up.
389 movies beginning in 1951.
Is that like where the Lion King screams Arsene Wenger at the beginning?
Yeah. No, it's when Boba Fett falls into the pit thing.
I'll,
What's it called?
I'll play it.
If this
over
is
the
in a
mic. Let
new
me just
movie,
find
I'm going
it.
to kill him.
No, it's not in the new movie.
No.
Oh, right.
It's in
Hold on, I even
Return
know
of the
that.
Jedi.
Yeah, but there
Yeah.
might have been a reference
I've-
there. I didn't know.
Wilhelm! Yeah, I'll
Really?
just fill my pipe.
This is where it comes from. That's the
You've heard
Wilhelm
that
scream.
before, yeah?
That's
Yeah.
just a normal scream, isn't it? I make that noise when
No.
I bang my toe.
Yeah, but it's in nearly every, like, it's in so many films.
Also in the Looney Tunes.
300. Yeah, it's in everything.
It's,
Basically. It's a stock sound for
Daffy
people
Duck.
to use.
So from what I've told you, do you believe NASA staged the footage after the landing, before the landing, it was all fake or it was all real? Like, do you think the theory holds up, or do you think that it's all just tosh?
The theory is really good.
Okay.
I personally think it's all fake. mainly because the amount of energy needed to get from the Earth to the Moon, like all the fuel, is an incredible amount.
There you go. Craig's just put something
Yeah.
in it, so I just want to read it out. So the things I find rather creepy is with The Simpsons, how they predicted most events that has happened. I find it as if it was a warning from the US government playing most events, or knew about the events.
Didn't we discuss this about them about last week when they get you used to stuff, programming or something?
Yeah, just we discussed that, didn't we?
Oh, right. I mean, if you look at, there's a thing about the moon landings that, to me, makes all this sound even more true. Is the claim is that the moon landing mission was saved by a big biro pen, and that came from Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin themselves. If it wasn't for the biro, they would never have got back. Has anyone heard that?
How much fuel did it bloody give them?
Well, no, it's one of their pipelines broke inside the ship. It split. So what they did was they took the pipe out and used the shaft of a biro as a makeshift pipe and pushed it in each end.
Oh.
So it was like as if you're doing like pipe. And apparently
Yeah.
that held the pressure of the liquid nitrogen gas that they needed to ignite with something else to take off, because there was no flame during takeoff to get back to Earth.
So
But yeah, apparently a biro pen saved the mission. Otherwise, they would have been dead.
just to go back to Charlie quick. So what makes you think it's fake?
Just the amount of like.
Because there's a lot more that supports it
I say
being
yeah,
fake than real. So,
Yeah, but no, the one that's always struck me is I know that Earth has the gravity, the Moon has a certain amount of gravity, but the amount of energy, when I say energy I mean fuel, obviously because the fuel creates energy which then causes thrust. The amount of it needed to get to the Moon is ridiculous. Or even just to get to the outer atmosphere. So, for them to be able to get back off the Moon without a spark or ignition, I mean, I know they use hydrogen, but you still need to have oxygen to then have fuel. That's all fuel.
To have the
It goes
combustion
pop bang.
aspect.
Yeah. Any engine needs a pop and a bang, basically. And I know rockets don't exactly work like that. So how would they have created that oxygen to then push themselves back and had enough fuel to make it back? And the technology not to just fucking burn re-entry.
Yeah, it's
Right.
the strange one.
Right,
Because
with the thing with fuel.
No, hold on, bro.
Okay.
Rockets cost millions and millions of pounds to make. Yeah, sometimes billions. And they can still explode. Yeah. So how lucky must these fucking people have been to make it not up once but twice without exploding?
With a biro.
Especially in
But
the
they-
days
but-
when racing car drivers were sitting on magnesium fuel tanks. Now,
It's-
magnesium is highly combustible, and they had it as fuel tanks. So, what baffles me, especially throwing this biro fucking pen into it, how they just didn't fucking explode.
Because they invented it, bro. That's what they did. They was at the cutting edge of technology.
Not with a biro pen, they weren't.
Why not? It's true.
It would just,
It might not be
It would-
true. That's the thing.
No,
it would have frozen
Neil
and
Armstrong
cracked.
said that story in an interview.
It would have frozen and
And
cracked,
Buzz
or
Aldrin.
it would have just plain fucking melted.
Who was the
They
third
obviously
one
put-
in the shuttle?
It's a load of
Oh,
cobblers.
can't remember.
He must have been well pissed off.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Going all
So,
the way to the
right,
moon, they go,
right.
get back in there and fly
Right, you
around,
ready?
mate. What? You're playing golf.
Yeah, I'm ready.
So to get off the Earth, you need a certain amount of thrust. Yeah.
Mhm.
So an aeroplane has a certain amount of thrust and it flies.
Mhm.
So a rocket with probably 30 or 40 times the amount of thrust an aeroplane has can break the Earth's atmosphere. An aeroplane can breathe
Yeah.
the Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once they're in space, they don't need that much combustion. It's so
Yeah,
they,
but
they
what's
could
the
use
key-
air
what's
to
one of
move
the-
forward.
What's one
Yeah,
of
hold
the
on,
key
fellas, there's
ingredients?
There's
I've got
something you've missed here.
Hold on, I've got something in the chat from Craig again. We're going to Craig Hub.
Oh.
He says, we only sent man to the moon once. Why not again? Something on the dark side of the moon which we should never know about. I believe no man has been to the moon.
Transformers.
As things was discovered on the moon, which man should never explore.
How can he think no one went to the moon, yet believe that things were discovered there?
Probes.
Yeah.
Get out.
Ain't no problem.
You guys just
Right.
spoke about the atmosphere, yeah?
Yeah.
And breaking through. Now, the other
Mhm.
question
No,
is,
sorry,
after the
I just-
atmosphere, you've got the Van Allen belt.
Yep.
The Van Allen radiation belt. That,
Mhm.
How did they not get radiation from that? Because
This is
even
what
the
I'm
ship
saying.
didn't contract any.
So
So
apparently
hold
you
on,
only
just
need.
just getting
I've looked into this. Apparently
No,
you
go
only
on.
need
Finish.
six lead linings to get through it.
Really?
Yep. That will
Well,
get you
we
through
need to
it.
speak to Jesus and get a better one.
right. So getting back to Cole saying you don't need a lot of combustion to get off the moon. What's the key ingredient of combustion, bro?
No. I didn't say combustion to get off the moon.
Methane.
I said
You said combustion.
no. I didn't. I said you don't need a lot of thrust.
It's
To go
no. You said
in
combustion.
space.
It's on stream. You said combustion.
They don't need that much combustion.
You did say
Key
combustion.
ingredient.
Did I?
A
Alright,
key
thrust.
ingredient
You don't
of
need a lot of
combustion
thrust to break the
is
moon's...
oxygen.
Right,
You
but I
don't need a
think
lot of thrust to break the moon's hold.
the
There's
quick.
not a
And,
lot of
sorry,
gravity on the moon.
Nige, did you say ignite their fuel to get them back?
Yeah, there was a certain fuel system inside the in the lander, is it? Whatever they called it,
Right?
in the Eagle. But there was
The
no
Eagle has
flame.
landed.
If you watch the takeoff that is on the NASA website, there is not a
Right.
single flame. There is no dust. There is nothing.
Okay.
There is two
So when
strings,
you
however,
hit-
that are visible.
We have.
So when you hit a cylinder of compressed air, or or a cylinder of like that's compressed, and you take that top off, the pressure from that actually moves it on the Earth, which the gravity on the Earth is much more than the moon.
Yeah.
Right, but imagine for a
So if that
second.
can move it, and they've got four
So
of
hold
them,
on.
one on each leg.
Yeah, and then imagine for
And
a
then-
second they've got to guide their way back to Earth,
Right?
navigate their way back to their designated landing zone
Right?
with air. Okay.
Yeah, they've got to get into orbit, and you need a lot
Right.
more pressure.
Yeah.
But imagine you're in that
No,
lander.
that lander didn't go back. You know that, yeah? The lander that they went up and landed on the moon thing did not come back to
What-
Earth.
What did
No, but
Harry
they had
Potter
to
go and
use
pick
that
him up
to
in
get back
flying
to the
car?
guy that-
No,
flying around.
no, they used that lander to get back to the actual thing that was orbiting the moon.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah, I know, but he's not listening.
Oh,
So they used that.
No, it's a
So they used that to go back to the shuttle that they was in. Yeah,
Hmm.
they all went into the front, which was like a big nose cone that had loads of shielding on it. They then broke the Earth's atmosphere. It broke away, started falling, and then as soon as it got to a certain altitude, the parachutes opened and it came out down and landed in the sea. So they didn't
And
have,
then-
they had a massive landing zone, not just a certain landing zone.
and then
Oh,
after
yeah,
that,
obviously. Like the
Stanley Kubrick yelled "cut," and they were done.